Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, you can't see him, you can't hear him, and you probably can't stop him. Tonight's movie, The Boogeyman.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! Triskaidekaphilia, episode number 31. Happy Halloween, everybody! Yes, we have made it. We have survived yet again. Unless I die while recording this, which is a possibility. So maybe I'll celebrate after this review's done. Hey, so tonight, I promised that I was going to end this year's festivities on a couple of, I say, underrated slasher films. Last night was The Slayer. I definitely recommend you to check it out. And tonight's movie is going to be a movie that I have actually heard of before this. And honestly, there's several movies that have kind of the same name, but I think this one may not be the original, but it was definitely predates a lot of the ones that I'm aware of. And unfortunately, I heard bad things about this movie, but when I watched it, and maybe it's one of those things about lower expectations, I don't know, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And that movie is The Boogeyman. Yes, The Boogeyman. Look at that 4K goodness from our friends at Vinegar Syndrome. Look at that. Nice. You haven't got a prayer. Anyway, so what is The Boogeyman about? Well, it starts off in a house. These two young children are playing, watching their mom and their mom's boyfriend start to get a little frisky, and of course they don't like that, and the boyfriend ties up the little boy and puts a gag in his mouth. So apparently this guy is an abusive asshole jackass. Anyways, the sister gets a knife, cuts him loose, and the boy probably has had enough of the boyfriend's shit at this point. Takes the knife and brutally murders him in the bedroom. And let's say, fast forward to the present, they're both grown. The girl has now got a husband and has a child, but she is still traumatized by that night. She still has nightmares about what happened. The brother also has trauma. He tends to collect knives and he doesn't speak. Anyways, they were kind of adopted by this family who work on this farm, and they're, a good Catholic family, wonderful upbringing, but she is just still traumatized by this situation. She just can't seem to escape the trauma of that night. And so her husband, trying to help her out, gets a psychiatrist involved. They do some things. They got the little hypnosis. Anyways, the psychiatrist says, hey, you know what? You need to take her to that house. The house is now owned by a whole new family. Show her that the house is as it is now and not as she remembered, as a way to try to, let go. See that life has moved on. The world has moved on. You should move on too. Anyways, unfortunately, they go to the house. The mirror in the bedroom was the same mirror that captured the image of the murder, and she sees the boyfriend in the mirror coming after her, and she freaks out and she breaks the mirror, and somehow that unleashes a supernatural entity bent on murderous revenge. Yes, this is a supernatural slasher film. And so, will she be able to stop the evil that she unleashed before it claims the lives of all her family and also herself? So let's get to those scores, shall we? Violence and gore. I am going to give this a 3 out of 5. There's definitely a higher a higher body count than the Slayer, but it's also relatively high for when this came out, which I think was like 1980. Yeah, so a reasonably high body count. There is some really bloody scenes in there. Scissors in the neck. This kid gets whacked. I mean, literally whacked by a window. Like, usually you don't see kids get whacked, but the guy was kind of an asshole anyways, but whatever. You get this really bloody, this like toward the end, this like knives going into the back of the guy is pretty bloody. So I'm saying like it's a decent amount, above average, 3 out of 5. Moving on to shock value, and I'm also giving this a 3 out of 5. There's a few pretty good jump scares. Also, just some of the stuff that happens is a bit shocking, and one of the kills is just it's cool, but it's also hilarious. Let's just say, making out has a whole new meaning now. Give me a kiss. Anyways, 3 out of 5. Plot, I'm going to give this a solid 4 out of 5. A supernatural slasher before we really had, I think, in my opinion, supernatural slashers. I mean, there's always been like this sort of supernatural thing about this slasher genre because it always seems so hard to kill these people doing the killing, but overall, in the end, it's usually a person doing the killing, and they're not usually using like psychic powers and other weird stuff. But this one is definitely a ghost murderer. Like, their weapons are floating in midair, and it is really, really interesting. I also like once again, like I talked about last night, this is a movie about trauma and overcoming trauma. And there was a lot of symbolism about that trauma and a lot of metaphors in this movie. So I think it's surprisingly deep for, what some people call another stupid, mindless slasher. Like, no, it's not. It's definitely got edge, and it's got depth, and it's got an interesting story, and it's layered. So 4 out of 5. Kudos. Moving on to acting, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. Some of the acting is a bit cliche. There's a whiny, like, obnoxious children in this movie. Yes, the parent, the mother, like, with the boyfriend, that wasn't like the strongest. But overall, very solid. So 3.5 out of 5, definitely above average for 80s slasher fare. So moving on to Nudity, and I am giving you this a 0.25 out of 5. Kind of tossed out that score last night, and it's a similar thing. This is like just a super brief nipple. Super brief nipple. There you have it, 0.25 out of 5. See, you think, it's another sleazy 80s. All it is like violence and nudity and sex, and these movies are so damn shallow. It's the same damn thing over and over again. This is not that. So anyways, 0.25 out of 5. Moving on to enjoyment factor, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was very entertaining, very intriguing, especially in the first part of the movie, because I'm just trying to figure out, like, is this like going to be setting up like the brother as the killer and things like this, or setting it up as she's the killer because of the trauma? And then when they go full supernatural, I'm like, okay, that's what we're going to do. I appreciate that setup, that sort of misdirection to say, question what's going on. And maybe in a way I'm sort of like ruining it. I don't think so. Knowing it ahead of time, definitely, I don't think will ruin the entire experience. But I did appreciate them trying to set things up, set different expectations, and then just going, oh man, this is supernatural. now all bets are off. And it's funny, too, because the house does have the Amityville windows. But and I don't know if that was on purpose, but I like it. I like it because it makes you, it harkens back to that without being a ripoff, because it definitely is not a rip. It is not. That is like the only similarity is the windows and Supernatural. Everything else is completely different, but still. Anyways, 4 out of 5 enjoyment factor. And my overall impression of this movie is a 4 out of 5. This is another gem of the slasher era, the 80s slasher era. And when I heard people say that it was boring and that like the kills weren't interesting, I'm thinking like, what are you talking about? I mean, unless you've gotten so like desensitized and jaded by horror movies that you need like freaking super over the top kills all the time, and if that doesn't do it, then you're like, oh my god, I can't watch this. This is crap. I mean, that's like the equivalent of someone who, you know, can't get turned on by like regular sex anymore and has to like pop balloons. Have a girl dressed up as a clown, popping balloons and spreading whipped cream all over her to get off. That's like, you know, you've gone, and that's a sad existence, man. Like, if you can't enjoy the simple things and it has to get more and more absurd and ridiculous for you to even have an enjoyment of it, man, that is sad. That's horrible. I feel bad for you. I'm not angry at you. I feel bad because, like, to enjoy the simple things as well as the crazy things gives you appreciation for both. And yeah, I don't know. Anyways, 4 out of 5, and that averages out to a wonderful 3.1 out of 5. Again, another solid movie score without having to rely on the exploitative aspects. So, you know, Siskel and Ebert, you can't just throw this one into the Friday the 13th bus, even though I love Friday the 13th. Come on, guys. That is the greatest horror franchise of all time, in my opinion. So, anyways, but there you have it. The Boogeyman on 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, anyways. And so, there you have it. The end. We have survived. We have survived. Oh, man. Don't forget to leave a comment section in the comment section. Leave a comment section in the comment section. Wow, that is crazy. I am gone. Anyways, leave a comment in the comment section below about the Boogeyman. I know you won't, but I'll say it anyways. And thank you again for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And thank you again for watching another year of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. Year number 13 is in the books, my friends. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sometimes, you know, when I'm getting close to the start of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, I get this feeling like, why should I do this? Why should I put in the effort? Like, no one's watching. You know, my YouTube dream has died many years ago. What is the point? And the point is to share my love of horror movies with all of you, all 10 of you, all 5 of you, all 3, whatever the number. And if one person finds a movie that they've never heard of before and finds it and watches it and loves it, then I have been a success. That is a success for me. And I can only thank you so much for allowing me to do that, to be successful in at least one thing in my life. And that is to introduce people to horror movies and genres and directors and movies that they just haven't seen before, haven't heard of before, and to share the love of horror movies, and then just to have a discussion, have a talk about these things that I love. Because honestly, in my life, I have very few people I can actually talk about this stuff to, because, you know, no one's even close to my level on a horror movie. Though there are a few people I can talk to about horror movies, and I appreciate that a lot. You know who you are, and but this is just great, and now I get to sleep for another year. Another year before I rise back from my coffin to instill more terror upon you all. Anyways, and as tradition dictates, the original crystal head that was from the year one. That's right, this has not been replaced. The cork is broken. Like, it pops off, so that's why it's a little loose. Anyways, as tradition, I have to do a shot, take a toast to all of you for another year of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. It's interesting. I've got a tequila shot glass, and this is filled with vodka. It's not the original vodka anymore. I long since imbibed that. This is I think this is that Japanese vodka that I got as a gift. So it's a little old. I don't drink as much as I used to, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. But so to your health and everything. And once again, thank you so much for joining me on this journey on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, Triskaidekaphilia, year number 13. And wherever we go from here, remember that I love you guys. I respect you guys. I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful for what I have. Even if it's not much, I'm truly humbled that I do have people who look forward to listening to me talk about movies. Because in the long run, it's all pretty stupid and superfluous stuff, especially with all the shit going on in the world. If I can provide a little escape, a little happiness, then, job well done, right? Anyways, thank you all. I can't thank you all enough for sticking with me, whether it's been since year one, year two, or you just discovering me now. I don't know how that's possible, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, I'm whatever happens in the future is whatever happens in the future. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so, give a hug to your loved ones. Say hi to your friends. Always be thankful. Always be humble. Always be grateful for what you have. And if you're struggling, remember to persevere, that you can get through the trials of life. If you need help, reach out, because there are people out there who can help. And so, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Don't be afraid to rely on your family and your friends. That's what they're there for. And yes, if you have a bad family situation, then rely on your friends. Anyways, I get all esoteric during these times, but I really mean it. Happy Halloween, everyone. And here's to another year of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And here is to all of you, my loyal subscribers, my non-subscribers, my viewers, my people. Thank you so much. God bless you. And as always, stay scary, Internet. Salut, slancha, kampai, all that good stuff. Cheers. Smooth. Wait, did my voice change? I don't know. It does burn in the back of my throat, though. A little bit. Anyways, thank you again for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. and I will see you when I see you.